yesterday that was caught off cuff, saying that nearly half of Americans are victims or entitled to some extensive support from the government, and basically dismisses 47% of American voters, and saying that, do you believe that he needs to apologize for his...
I don't know. I'm just not aware. I've not had a chance to see any tapes. I've just really been tied up on stuff, so I can't really tell you what my comment is until I know what it is he said and what the context is. I appreciate you trying to give me the context, but I probably ought to see what it's all about, and then I'll have something to say. Okay?
What about this event here today? I mean, obviously agriculture is a big part of the Ohio economy.
It's, you know, it's good. I mean, my concern is we're not doing everything we can possibly do. We have to get the whole agriculture community working as a team and being hungry to improve our state. We're making progress. Look, we're getting now agribusinesses, and I thought Vilsack's comments were very good, and we've got a new dean, and he was impressive. But we have to all think about how do we do more to squeeze more prosperity out of this ag base that we have here. And you know, I think we've made progress, but I think there's so much more we can get done.
One of the things that you're pushing for college universities is to encourage the three-year degree program. Talk about why you think that's important.
Well, there's a bunch of things. Number one is I'd like kids to be able to, good students to be able to get college credit in their senior year of high school. In addition to that, the quicker that students can have the course curriculum to be able to get through school, the less it costs. But in addition to that, as I mentioned here, we have Gordon Gee running a program now that's purpose is to accentuate graduation, not enrollment, which is another big sea change for our state. And in addition to that, we're trying to get the universities to look at core assets. Ohio State University is now leased or sold some of their parking garages. They get a half a billion dollars in terms of revenue. That can help us to offset tuition increases. Our university presidents, our community college presidents, have made a commitment that we're going to continue to reform, because as we reform, we save money. When we save money, we make college more affordable. There's no magic to it. It's hard work, and it requires a change of culture. What I'm happy about is they're all working with me. It's fantastic. You know, normally there's a lot of, you know, angst between the higher education and the governor and the legislature. It's easy to cut higher education, you know, but I don't think we should. I don't want to not have it as a very high priority for our state, because that's what helps build the economy of our state. So costs are a big issue for mom and dad, and not just mom and dad, but for the students, both those just entering and those who are older who are going back into higher education. Okay.
How's the budget planning going? I know that some departments...
Well, you know, it's, you know, we're planning it, and people think, you know, we have all this money and we're out of the woods, and we're not. I mean, $500 million in a rainy day fund sounds like a lot of money, but boy, you chew that up in, you know, a couple weeks. I mean, there's some weeks where we spend that much, you know, there'd be days where we'd spend almost that much in one day, is what I'm told. So, you know, there's not going to be a lot of money out there. We're not flush. Our economy is just... it's doing better, but it's anemic, and so we're not off to the races here. It's going to be another, you know, tough budget with priorities that, you know, I want to make sure that we can do is, you know, we want to make sure that our top priorities are going to be K through 12, and we have to deal with Medicaid, which has dramatically increasing costs. We have to control those. Higher ed, programs for the poor, those who are vulnerable. I mean, you try to fit it all together, and you set your priorities, try to get your reforms done, but it's not easy. I mean, I wish we had like incredible growth in America. You know, that would solve so many of our problems. Part of why we're doing better is because we're up 122,000 jobs, you know. It produces more revenue, but this is going to be another tough budget.
Governor, you mentioned income tax. Are you talking about reducing the personal income tax in Ohio?
Well, I'm talking about reducing the income tax for everybody in Ohio, and small businesses pay income tax. Most people don't know that. They think that, you know, an income tax is just something you just do for an individual. Well, that's important because we don't want to chase all the good people out of Ohio. They're all going down to Florida. If you've ever been down there in the winter, it's populated by Ohioans. But what's most important about lower income taxes is it is such an important part of job growth, of economic growth, of prosperity. So as you know, we want the big oil companies, out-of-state oil companies, to pay more for what they take out of our state so we can all have a tax cut here. And the purpose of it is to spur economic development, and we need those tools. Plus, we'll have additional tax reform that will come. We're working on it, working on school funding. It's going to be a heck of a budget. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but we can't stand still. We have to move forward. All these states are cutting their income taxes because they want to spur growth, and I don't want them to get so far ahead of us that companies start looking at other states when we need to get them here.
Is severance tax, do you think that's going to be part of the budget at this point?
Well, we're pushing every day. If we can get, the sooner we can get it done, the better. I just can't make a prediction now as to when it's going to happen, but it will happen, as I've told you. Okay? Thank you all.
Thank you, Governor.
Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Rob.